Yevgeny, who has been exceptional in this playoffs, and he's had great bounce-back performances in this playoffs. In games 2 and 3 against Colorado, the 4, 5, and 6, and how brilliant he was. And in the games here, you expect Yevgeny, after a 40-minute rest, he will be motivated for Game 5 at HP Pavilion. The other thing I want to talk about, that last power play, Thomas Holmstrom. We talk about Rob Blake playing the same way no matter what the score. Thomas Holmstrom standing right in front again, taking that abuse he takes in the front of the net.
Paveldatsuk out 5-on-5 now as all the power play time is whittled down. Jamie McGinn for the Sharks. Going down Jonathan Ericsson's side, and he didn't get far. Danny Heatley battling with the big Detroit defenseman.
He is a big man, isn't he? He's got tremendous range as well. Forces a lot of players to the outside. We think he's got him beat. It's just so rangy, so much reach, and he forces you wide.
Matola sent it back to his defense. Andreas Lilia with it down for the Red Wings with 5.5 left in the third. So this series will remain in control of the Sharks from the standpoint that they need just one more win. But the Red Wings facing elimination tonight responded to that in a very big way, and they did it right off the get-go, as they did when they were facing elimination 9 days ago against Phoenix and had a big start to that game. Kronwall has it go out off his skate. Darren Helm flips it back into the San Jose zone where it's caught by Thomas Price.
Well, this is their 74th, I do believe, playoff game since they went to the conference finals way back in 06-07 against Anaheim. You don't play 74 playoff games and have nearly 50 wins without learning a thing or two when the crunch time is upon you.
Kevin Setaguchi for the Sharks, endeavoring to work it back for Jason Demers at the point, but it's Patrick Marleau recovering it in his own zone. The only two teams to come back all the way from 03, the Toronto Maple Leafs against Detroit back in 1942, and the New York Islanders did it against Pittsburgh in 75. The odds are stacked against the team that falls into a 3-0 hole. Sharks have been ahead in this series 3-0 only once in their history. And that series ended up going to a 6th game when the Sharks eliminated Colorado 4-2. Lilia steps up, gets a body on Logan Couture.
It'll be interesting to listen to the locker talk after the game. What both teams will be saying and how the Sharks will spin it and how the Red Wings will spin it. Of course, both teams will try to downplay it, but there is meaning in every game.
Tough to put much of a spin on it from the Sharks standpoint, except from the fact that they weren't good enough to start the game against a desperate team. And they've got to get back to playing their game, as Matt Shaw told us at the start of this third period. They need to get back on Saturday night.
Sharks let the Detroit Red Wings off the hook because after the first period, they didn't have to expend the energy that they would have needed in a close game. In a close game in the third period, the San Jose Sharks have been outscoring Detroit Red Wings 5-1. But tonight, the Red Wings didn't need it because they got it done in the first period, and the Sharks weren't prepared, ready to go. That has to be rectified for Game 5.
The prior 3 games were all 4-3 final victories for San Jose. As you see, the penalties, Vlasic and Rafalski, a couple of each for swinging the lumber, although it's not technically lumber anymore. The carbon fiber.
Very few guys have lumber nowadays.
Douglas Murray back defensively for the Sharks, paired with Dan Boyle. And Boyle threads the needle through to Marleau. It stops to get rid of the defender Kronwall. Now tees it up and shoots it wide off a deflection. Dan Boyle back to Marleau again. This one wide of the net. Picked up by Boyle as he's chased to the line by Helm. Boyle, one hand on the stick. Nice move. Takes the shot. Jimmy Howard to save. Juggled it momentarily, but covered. As we noted earlier, Game 5 will be Saturday night back at HP Pavilion in San Jose. We'll have Sharks pregame live Saturday at 6:30 p.m.
We saw the poll. I do believe we showed it last game where the HP Pavilion, among NHL players, the toughest building to play in. The noise level, a big factor. Talking to Rob Blake about feeding off the energy of the crowd. He said as the series gets longer and longer, as you get deeper in the series, you definitely feed and feel the energy of your fans, and it does help.
Off the face-off, it's steered ahead. Are you surprised to see Datsuk and Zetterberg still rolling out there on the lines for Detroit?
No, not really. I mean, Mike Babcock uses his guys quite a bit, and he trusts them, and I don't think you look at the San Jose Sharks as a team that's going to try to do anything cheap or dirty with playoff hockey.
Jason Demers with a neat bit of maneuvering through the neutral zone, but then lost it to Datsuk. The best in the business of taking it away from people. Lippola in offside, and play is halted with 2:03 remaining. So a sobering night for the
game, that nothing comes easy, especially against Detroit.
And cliches are usually cliches because they're true. The fourth game of a series is usually the hardest one to win.
It certainly is if you're going to show up and defensively not be in the moment, not be ready to go. And you saw Todd McClellan that we showed you in the first period. He was not happy with his troops. Tried to reset the button, but it was too late.
Logan Couture put down hard to the boards by Jonathan Ericsson. No worse for the wear as he bounces right back up to his skates. Now Couture gives a shot back to Abdelkader. Extracting all the payback there as the edge hasn't left this game, that's for sure.
More shots being thrown out there as Douglas Murray comes over. And it's just physical. It's not high shots or elbows or anything like that. Just physical.
Kevin Setaguchi, a little more speed through the neutral zone.
Just took it nasty.
Oh, and Lilia took a hard hit. And he slashes at Setaguchi. The referee, Bill McCreary, right there. Let's play continues. We're down under a minute.
Happy here. This is the first time that Detroit, when facing elimination, when down 0-3, facing elimination at home, have been able to win the hockey game. They're 0-4 in previous home ice tilts. Down 3-zip in a playoff series. Now they've made it 4-1.
Still a long road back for the Red Wings as they put themselves in the 3-0 hole, requiring 4 straight victories, and they'll need to win twice at HP Pavilion if they're to join those historic comebacks of Toronto and the Islanders as the only others in NHL playoff history. Logan Couture getting it to the front of the Detroit net, kept alive at the blue line by Kent Huskin. Back to Couture, on to Torrey Mitchell. Lilia gets his skate in the way. And Darren Helm will bring it back up ice. And as you can hear and see, Hockey Town has come alive in this series for the first time as the Red Wings fans celebrate this impressive victory here in Game 4. And the San Jose Sharks now lead this series 3-1. Johan Franzen, a tremendous night. He had 4 goals leading the way for the Winged Wheel.
And it's, as you mentioned, so great.
All right, very